Hi there, Dolly friends. I am so happy that you're here today, and I really mean that. Anyone that's stopping by to visit today, whether you stop by all the time or you're just stopping by today, I am so grateful that we can come here and share things. I am so excited to show you what I've done to the door, but before I do that, I want to show you quickly what I've done in the parlor. If you thrift like me, you can pick up these paper doilies. Sometimes they're plain. The foiled ones are really nice, and they are so great for adding details to things in a doll's house. And I was looking for some other things, and I found this gold doily, and I thought, oh, the center will make a perfect little ceiling medallion for my parlor. So I just cut it out and I put on a glove and put rub and buff on it. I love rub and buff. I just love it. Look how that transforms it. And I just used my glove finger to put that all over, and I put some on the little screw that I have going in the ceiling where the light is hanging. I just used a little Mod Podge and put it right over the hole where the screw had been, and I'm just pushing it on there. I'm trying to film and do that at the same time. See my finger in the camera? And yeah, it's already pretty much centered. You probably will never see it, but in case you glance up or I point the camera up there while I'm filming something, it won't look so unfinished. And I'll just hang up my light. It's pretty basic, and I haven't even gone back and added more tissue to the ceiling, but I think it's fine for now. Well, I have been working on the wall, and I think you'll find that I have incorporated some of your ideas. Thank you all so much for the great ideas you gave me. I really was had a little bit of a block because I had so many possibilities I couldn't make a decision. So that will be for next week. But I really wanted to do something with this door, and I had some ideas in mind of a Victorian style door. I wanted it to look like it had been there for a while. And I have no extra materials. I have no extra trims or pieces. And I needed to get the video out. So I have no time to order that stuff. So I'm trying to really use what I have, and it helps my brain. It helps me think outside the box. So I have these lovely silk wrapped cocktail sticks that came to me from Becky. I have some toothpicks with a similar design, and they have that same little scrolling detail on the ends. So I was just playing around with these, trying to see what I could make, how I could make it look. I really have never done this before. I've only watched Gretchen do it. So I have no idea what it's going to turn out like, but I kind of like the way that's looking, and I'm going to go with that. And I am going to repeat these little panels on the back on the other side, which will be the dormitory door. So I am skipping the wood glue and the tacky glue and going right to my true love, the Loctite super glue, because I never have a problem with that. And I don't want to waste any time, especially with these little flimsy pieces. They really need to be secure. So I did take my time, although I did not measure other than eyeballing. And what I did for the scrolling pieces, which I'm using on the ends, is I just cut a similar, you can see there's like little segments, and I cut the fourth segment just eyeballing it. So are they perfect? No. Are they absolutely square with 90-degree angles? No. Are they close and the eye doesn't really tell the difference? Maybe. So I spent a lot of time doing this, but I really found it quite relaxing. I don't mind kind of tedious work when I have the time to do it. And don't ask me why I put fingernail polish on, because we all know that does not last when you do crafting. There are the first four, and I am going to repeat the panels for the dormitory side of the door. Well, of course, I had to take the little pin hinges out that I had put in, but it's okay. It was good for me to have the practice of doing it. They actually came out really easily because I probably didn't have them in secure enough, so I guess that's a good thing. So as I was kind of putting these along the door and seeing how they look, I was deciding they don't look good enough and I need a little more detail. So the only other sticks that I have that I can use are these very flimsy coffee stir sticks. I did get everything done. I'm doing a little light sanding. You can see all the coffee stir sticks, which I've cut to build a little frame around the little rectangular frame that I already made. So you'll see what I'm doing here. But I do have to stain it all. So I'm doing that. It's not going to stay like that. I am going to paint it and you'll see what I do. But I want to have the stain underneath because I want that to show through. You'll see. Well, I got everything glued on. I did not use Loctite super glue to glue my trims on. I used tacky glue. And it's looking pretty much how I envisioned it so far. My brain is so lazy. I have to mark things right and left. So I know which side is the parlor side and which side is the dormitory side, or it won't fit properly in my door frame. But here's how it's going to look when I get all the trims done, but that's just a sneak preview. So I'm mixing a little paint and it's really not as yellow as it appears here on the screen. It's really kind of more like a wheat color. And I'm just going to dry brush that on my wood pieces and I'm going to see how that looks. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying it. I always kind of like the dry brush look. I have a vision in my mind of what I want it to look like, and well, this is pretty close to what I had envisioned. So I really like the old weathered look of it, like it's a really super old door. So if you remember, the house is built during Victorian times, but now we're in the 1930s. So some things are really old and some things are newer and some things are even older than when the house was built because they came with the original owners who brought them from Germany when they came. So I created a little stencil on some tracing paper and I put it on the doors very lightly because I want to paint it a little bit. And I'm just practicing. This is a very simple shape, which I thought I might be able to do. And I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just want to give my hand the little motion by doing a few. And I wanted to mix the color to be just right. So I mixed some dark red, a burgundy color with some brown, and I added just a little bit of alcohol. And I really like the way that it looks. It's coming out really very close to my vision. Now, if I had better artistic skills, I would probably do something a little more exciting, but I like this little shape. I think there might be some suggestions of this shape in other parts of the house as well. So now I'm mixing black with some dark green, which I don't think it'll end up showing up, and a little bit of alcohol to add further detail. So I've made some errors with my dots and I'm not happy with them. So I'm just sanding them off, just showing you how I kind of fixed it. And then on the lower part of that panel to my left, there was a big splotch. So I'm going to sand that off as well. And then just add a little more paint since it's dry brushed. It hardly will be noticeable. And I have a similar inconsistency on the left-hand panel, but I don't know that I'm actually going to fix that. And while that area dries, I'm adding a little antique gold rub and buff. Yes, you can never add too much rub and buff. Actually, you can add too much rub and buff, but if you don't add it at all, your project will not be as good. I am really liking this door. I hope you're liking it as much as I am. It might be a little asynchronous for Whistle by House, but I don't mind. We can just say it was a family heirloom that was put in the house. I don't know. I really like it. I hope you like it as much as I do. And now I need to think of some handles for the doors. I have no doorknobs or anything, and I looked pretty extensively online and could not find anything that struck me. I have this little piece of metal that I bought for $1, I guess, at a thrift store, and I cut some pieces off, and I'm just going to, you know it, add some black rub and buff and create my own little door pulls. I may decide to change these, but they're going to have to do for now because I can't bear the thought of leaving it unfinished. And I'm just applying them with my Loctite super glue because it works like magic. These are very, very lightweight pieces, and I probably will not even touch them much because they're so flimsy, but I like the way they look, and they would just provide a little pull so you could open the door. This is an interior door, so it doesn't need to have locks or anything on it. And I just want to give you a little impression of how it will look. I am always amazed if something turns out even remotely what I had envisioned, and I couldn't be more pleased with this little door. And if you want to see the rest of the wall come into shape, please come back and visit me next time in the doll cupboard.